before we get to PPP specifically, I wanted to gauge, in your very educated opinion, of where the unemployment rate probably sits roughly at this stage.
Well, Will, it's really hard to say because you've got a lot of furloughed employees too. You don't have them necessarily off the payrolls completely, and I think it's going to be very early to tell. We're seeing a lot of small businesses in particular trying to keep their employees within their company, wait for the loans and get it paid. So it's certainly, going to be up, I think, in the double digits, but it's pretty hard to tell right now. I think it's going to take through the end of April to kind of see really how everything falls out.
I asked that, of course, Marty, because part of the design of this PPP program was to try and prevent people from becoming unemployed in the first place. To what extent do you think the program was well designed and perhaps more importantly is being well executed? I understand the optimism, and I know it's been an enormous lift to get to even where we are. But if we continue to see delays of money getting out the door to small businesses for the next week or two, will the money arrive too late?
Well, I think the program has been happening the fastest I've ever seen out of the federal government. And so I'm very impressed with what they've done and the ability of this program to keep people employed in small businesses under 500 employees. I do think it was a little bumpy at first. There was regulations still changing and guidance still changing, even up till Monday night on what was needed and what would be given in the loans. But I think just the fact that we're now over 300,000 at Paychex, we've issued over 300,000 payroll reports, which allow you to immediately get that to the SBA, and that's all you need for the loan. This process is moving better now. As Kate said, we're hearing from our clients that some are already getting money. It's a little early. Some of the banks had to work through some kinks, but the banks are working very hard to get this turned around, and we're hearing that is smoothing out quite quickly. You think about it, it's only Wednesday, and really this started on Friday.
No, I agree. Certainly, we might be able to look back on this in due course to commend the way it's been rolled out, but difficult to conclude that quite yet. Marty, more broadly, what data are you seeing in terms of the employment landscape? And if we look at things regionally across America, does it correlate very tightly with the areas that are seeing the worst data on the virus, or is this already just a national phenomenon?
Well, it's certainly national, but you're right. We are seeing it more in states where they're hit the hardest because they shut down the earliest. When you think about New York, California, those areas are where there is more employees that at least are furloughed or out of not getting their paychecks today because they had an earlier shutdown, particularly, of course, the restaurants and personal service, things like barber shops and salons. You are seeing a quick uptick there. And I do think that the program has worked in the speed of it, in the fact that businesses are trying to hold those employees. And hopefully, if the money can flow this week, they will continue to get paychecks, and that'll really be a boost to everybody's morale. And I think the fact that we could get started back up quickly if they didn't completely shut down as a business.
Marty Mucci, thanks so much for joining me.